daughters have friends, and how did they kind of, interpret into your life?
They're family. They're friends who just aren't tied to you and connected to you just by a friendship. We do life together, and that has been what, in essence, that's how I came up. Our friends were family. They're more like cousins opposed to just friends. So that means that you become an integral part in their lives. So that's the good times, the bad times, their arguments, their joys. You get to experience all of it with them, as much as you can, as far as, the dynamic of a mom to, her children. But I was able to, and still am able to, have relationships with all of their friends, because they are their chosen sisters. And so with that, they hold my heart, they hold my care, my concern, my worry, my fuss, like all of those things. What makes you a family. So how did Maddie come about? Maddie came about like a ball of fury. What's so interesting is that I don't remember a time where they were becoming friends. It seemed very instant. I think they needed each other. And it was very natural because they both had older siblings that were the same age. And it was really like that lock that fits. And Maddie was just not just there. Maddie was a presence. Maddie was a force. And that was from 6th grade. And she was an amazing friend. I will say that. One thing about Maddie is that she understood loyalty to a fault. And yeah, she was just, I can't do nothing but smile when I think about her. Because that's the kind of person she was, and I hate that I'm using that in a past tense. But she didn't know strangers. There was not one stranger ever. She loved animals. She was going to make sure, like, Maddie was going to figure it out. And I was speaking with her dad, today. And one thing about Maddie, she was going to try anything. I used to call her a triathlete, because it would be, I'm like, you're doing what now? And she's like, yeah, I might as well. And I'm like, do you even know how? No, but I want to figure it out. Like, she was that type of spirit. There was no obstacle too great. She's probably one of the bravest individuals that I've ever met in my life. She had the capacity to learn, but she was certainly outspoken. And when she was quiet, you knew that she heard you.
A moment in time of when you guys just had a special moment?
Oh, yeah. There are so many, because the thing about any of my children, every single one of them, there was not a start and end time. It was just continuous. Like, I would come home from work and Maddie's there, or in the morning, like, don't worry, Mom, I got it. Was just courageous and bold and fun. Any coach will tell you that. One of her coaches says, you know what, it was always going to be interesting and fun. Definitely interesting, but always fun with Maddie. So there's a whole community that is in agony about this, because it's a phone call, it's a text that you never would associate. One of the reasons why, when you reached out, that I was compelled to speak was because of the Black women that I personally lost this year. And even though she was a girl, she was a woman. And when I saw the headline, that didn't fit Maddie. Like, a woman felt like, no, this was Mattie Wilson. And she was loved. She is love. She's excitement. She's all of those things. She's more than just someone you scroll by and you give condolences to. Her light that she gave, everyone deserves to know that about her. Before all of this, Maddie was deemed a lighthouse. And because of her involvement with MSK, my sister's keeper, I think it was something that, you hear a word and it becomes something else. But in retrospect, I'm looking at, she's the epitome of a lighthouse, of being able to draw towards love, towards safety. So I know her legacy, it has to live on from every single person that she's touched, whether they were a teammate, a cheerleader, her in college, her working at Lutheran. It's an undeniable force, even in a storm. Because let's be honest, most people don't look at lighthouses when it's calm. But in that storm, you look to that light, and that's exactly who and what Maddie is. Maddie, if you were in this room right now, one, I would thank you. I would thank you for loving my family, for loving the love that was shared between Maddie and my daughter was special. It was something that every girl should have. And I'm glad that they had that in each other. I would thank her for our conversations of advice. I would be, one, I just would want her to know how much that she is loved by her parents, by her siblings, by her family that's not blood. I feel like Maddie knew that because she lived like that. Like she lived like she was loved. So it wouldn't hurt to say that again.